And there, let's take you straight to the Royal Courts of Justice, where you can see Prince Harry arriving there ahead of his court challenge. So he's trying to fight a decision which was made to downgrade his personal security when he comes over to Britain. He obviously lives, as people will know, in the United States with his family. After that split with the royal family in 2020, he moved to North America. And then when he was back, the UK government said he would no longer be given the same degree of publicly funded protection when he was in the UK on visits. So that's him he's just headed into the Royal Court. But he's now appealing against the decision that was made in the court. And I think we can join Helena, who's there for us, monitoring this story. So, Helena, he's actually in court now, and it's quite a big moment for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's a surprise that Prince Harry has turned up here to the Royal Courts of Justice. Just to give you the background, you mentioned there, this is a two-day hearing at the Court of Appeal, and this is all to do with Prince Harry's level of security when he comes to visit the UK, like he has done here today. So not a surprise that he's come to the UK, but a big moment for him, of course. We don't see Prince Harry that often here in the UK. He rarely travels here. And he has stressed it is because of the security, that level of security he was afforded when he was a working member of the royal family. But that was downgraded when he stopped being a working member of the royal family and moved with his family to America. But we've seen there in the last few moments Prince Harry arriving for the start of the two-day Court of Appeal hearing, where he's continuing to challenge a Home Office decision about downgrading the level of security. Let me bring in my colleague Charlotte Gallagher, who is with me here outside the Royal Courts of Justice. And Charlotte, we've just seen Prince Harry arriving here at the Court of Appeal in the UK. The last time he was here, I think, was back in September, when he was here for a charity event. He's come into the Royal Courts of Justice, not through the front entrance, we think through a side entrance, but a significant moment for him.
It's really significant. He rarely comes back to the UK now, and part of the reason he says for that is because of his security arrangements. He doesn't have the same security level that other members of the royal family have here in the UK, other working members of the royal family. He lost that in 2020 when him and his wife Meghan decided to move to the United States, and that is what he's fighting here today. He wants more security, more police protecting him when he's in Britain. He says that he's still under an immense risk because, of course, he's the son of the king. He was, of course, as well in the British Army, and he was serving in Afghanistan, and he says that's an additional threat to him as well. But that security was taken away. He does still have some police protection, though, Helena. It's not like he's a normal person when he comes to this country. There would have been police with him today when he came to the Court of Appeal. Basically, every time he comes to the UK, his situation is assessed on a case-by-case basis of how much security he does need when he's here in Britain. So it would never be that he would just be walking around the streets on his own. What he says is that he is willing to pay to have police protection, full police protection in the United Kingdom. However, the committee which decides essentially what kind of protection the royals and other VIPs get, like the Prime Minister, they say you can't do that. It's not rent-a-police. It's either coming from central funding or not at all. And he says as well that his private security, so the people that are with him in America and that will travel with him to the UK, they obviously can't access Home Office databases, MI5 databases, and know about threats against him. So he says they're kind of working in the dark, essentially, because they don't know the level of threats that he is facing. So that is what he's going to be fighting in court today. Interesting that he's come here in person. He didn't have to be here in person. He could have done it by video link or have lawyers essentially argue his case, but he feels incredibly strongly about this. He says the UK is his home and it's a part of his children's heritage, a really important part of his children's heritage, but he says he doesn't feel comfortable bringing them here because of the security situation and not having the highest level of police protection. But it'll be interesting to hear what happens in court over the next 2 days. Some of it will be done behind the scenes. There are cameras in court that will be streaming essentially what's going on, but some of the evidence will be confidential, essentially the kind of threats that he could be facing. We won't know the detail of those threats for obvious reasons, but there is a stream, there are cameras in court that will be filming what's going on. I mean, probably the one thing we should say is that even though there are cameras, Court of Appeal hearings can be quite complicated. There can be a lot of legal jargon. they can take quite a long time. So it's not going to be like watching a courtroom TV drama with lots of kind of dramatic scenes. It's going to be quite dull in many cases as they kind of process exactly what's going to happen with this situation. So he's either going to come out after the 2 days and potentially get his full level of security back, or he's going to lose another court case. But he's certainly a man that's not a stranger to the British court system at the moment, is he, Helena?
Exactly. Let's just remind our viewers what's happened in the last few moments, Charlotte. So Prince Harry has flown in from America and he is here at the Royal Courts of Justice in the building just behind us, and he is here for the start of that 2-day Court of Appeal hearing. What we're going to see when it starts, it gets underway at 10:30 this morning, and the parties, what happens or tends to happen at Court of Appeal hearings is you'll hear the parties with the opening submission. So we'll hear first from Prince Harry's barrister, who will lay out the arguments as to why they are appealing against a High Court decision when Prince Harry tried to challenge the Home Office decision to downgrade his security when he comes to the UK. He didn't go through the front entrance. We think he went through one of the side entrances to get into the courtroom. Interesting time though, he's here in the UK, he's decided to come. His father is not in the UK, he is with the Queen. They will be celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary tomorrow in Italy. So we don't know whether he flew in to the UK before they flew out and saw his father, or whether he might stay after this hearing or go straight back to America after it finishes.
Yeah, I mean, there was only a few hours really of him arriving and then King Charles and Queen Camilla departing for Rome. I mean, we don't think he's seen his father in person since February last year, when the King was diagnosed with cancer and Prince Harry flew to the UK and had about a 45-minute meeting with his father. I mean, they don't see each other like they used to. I mean, this is a family, like a lot of families, with quite a strange relationship, apart from the fact that it's played out in public, it's not behind the scenes. But we don't know, for example, as you said, if he met his father last night or if he's going to stay on and then meet him afterwards. But yes, he's slipped into the country, he's at the Court of Appeal. I mean, we say he went into the side entrance, but I mean, there were cameras there, and he will have known, wouldn't you, Helena, that whichever entrance he comes into the Court of Appeal, there are going to be cameras that are going to capture him going in and out.
All right, Charlotte Gallagher, thank you very much indeed. So Prince Harry here in the UK at the Royal Courts of Justice, arrived in the last 15 minutes or so for the start of that 2-day Court of Appeal hearing. We've got our correspondent colleague Tom Simons, who is in the courtroom, and as Charlotte was mentioning there will be a live stream of the hearing over the next 2 days.